waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider.
Testing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Man, every time I go out of town, I gotta redo my settings. They can't hear me still. Oh, now they can. Okay. All right, y'all can hear me now. All right, cool. Sorry, y'all. Every time I go out of town, most of my stuff is unhooked, and I gotta hook it back up, so I forget which mic I need to put it on. So y'all forgive me for that. Hey man, listen, man. Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from spring break out of town. Been missing for about 4 days. A lot has happened, and there's a lot that we need to talk about. We're about to talk about every bit of what's been going on the last couple days. I'm gonna be answering y'all questions and everything. We already got 300 people in the building, so hit that like button right now. And if you are new to the building, make sure that you subscribe to TDPHINSTALK. We're almost at 27,800. Man, 200 away from 25,000, man. I'm excited. It's going to come at some point, man. If I just stop, getting people mad and all that good stuff. But the Dolphins do have a lot going on. I'll break it all down. And by the way, the Derrick Henry to Miami is real. We're going to talk about that and more. So y'all hit that like button on your way in the building. I'm glad to see we already got over 100 likes. I hope everybody's doing good. We got so many topics to talk about. And I'm about to read off the list of topics that we're going to be discussing tonight. But again, punch that like button for me, all right? Make sure that you hit that like button, all right? Let me see here. Where my list at? Yeah, we got tons to talk about. TD, I don't know why people are mad at what Sherfield said. He feels Tua is an elite. That doesn't mean Tua is trash or anything like that. I think a lot of people taking that out of context. I don't think he thinks Tua is an elite either. I mean, well, we all know Tua ain't elite. There's a certain level you have to be for a certain amount of time to be elite. But we'll talk about that. That's on the list. We're going to talk about Sherfield to the Bills. We're going to talk about Gesicki to the Pats. We're going to talk about Edmonds to the Jets. We got to talk about Derrick Henry. Got to talk about the O-line. We got to talk about Jerome Baker's salary getting guaranteed. The Dolphins officially picking up Tua's fifth-year option. We're going to talk about Sherfield's words with the whole Josh Allen thing. Also, Aaron Rodgers' first choice was Miami. We're going to talk about that. And also, offense gets no clear upgrade per Omar Kelly. We're going to talk about what he said as well, that I thought was interesting. So again, punch that like button on your way in the building. We got so much to go over. And we're going to break it all down here on the show tonight. And let's do that. So hit the like button. Let's get 200 likes. And shout out to the Mod Squad. Shout out to all the members of the channel. Ronnie, I see you. Joes, I see you. Andres, I see you in the building. Dylan, what's going on, my guy? What's up with you, man? Let me see here. Vivian in the house. Jose, Concrete Dolphin in the building. That's what's up. I see everybody filing in right now, man. I'm glad to see y'all in here. That is what's up. All right, almost 400 people in the building. Let's go ahead and get started since we got a lot to discuss and I don't want to waste y'all time. Let's start breaking it all down. First and foremost, Trent Sherfield, ladies and gentlemen, to the Buffalo Bills. This is a loaded conversation. This is a loaded conversation that needs to be had. Trent Sherfield with the Bills. First and foremost, the Miami Dolphins signed Trent Sherfield on a 1-year deal. I had him mixed up with Cedric Wilson earlier today whenever I heard all of this. I thought it was Cedric Wilson. And I'm glad I was corrected on that. But Trent Sherfield, we signed this man on a 1-year deal, like $1 million and something dollars, less than $2 million, right? And I can't wait to see what Buffalo paid him, by the way. But we got Sherfield, and he was actually productive to be the fourth option last year because we know Tyreek 1, Waddle 2, Gesicki, Semi 3, and Sherfield was the fourth option last year. Now, here's what's interesting to me. Sherfield gets less than $2 million, but he was the actual productive guy outside of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. He was actually the other guy that was productive. And on the other hand, we give Cedric Wilson $8 million to do absolutely nothing. To do absolutely nothing. So what did Sherfield say today? Sherfield didn't say that he wanted to come back to the Dolphins today, like everybody's lying on Twitter saying that he said. I watched the whole interview. He didn't say, I wanted to go back to the Dolphins. All he did is said, I thought I was going back to the Dolphins. His exact words, I thought I was going back to Miami, but they basically said they were heading in a different direction and they want some other guys to step up. Those were the words he said. So all this lying on Twitter, he said he wanted to play with Tua in Miami. No, he said his exact words, I thought I was going back to Miami. And do you know why he thought he was going back to Miami? Because he was actually somewhat productive to be a number 4. He was actually somewhat productive. If I was in his shoes, I would have thought I was coming back to Miami too. You only paying me $1 million something and I actually produced a little something, and you're giving Cedric Wilson $8 million to do nothing? $300 yards are productive. For $1 million, 300 yards is productive to be the number 4 receiver. Come on now, don't be simple-minded here. Everybody want to yell context all day today. Well, put it into context. That little 300 yards, was it worth it for $1 million? When you got Cedric Wilson making $8 million for 100 yards. Come on now. Please, the crowd is here to just try to tell me why I'm wrong. Just sit back tonight. I'm not coming nobody's way with no hate. I'm just telling the truth tonight. That's all. And by the way, put some respect on Trent's name. It wasn't 300 yards. It was 417 to be exact. Let me look it up. I think it was, 417 yards. Okay? 417 yards to make under $2 million roughly. And you got Cedric Wilson. You got Cedric Wilson Jr. out here making $8 million to get 136 yards and no touchdowns. Make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Please make that make sense. You can't make it make sense because it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. So here we are this year, and we got Cedric Wilson again about to make $8 million with a $7 million dead cap. I'm going to say this because a lot of y'all don't like to hold your team accountable or book all the bad things they do. This is yet another failure on Chris Greer's behalf. You gave the wrong receiver the money, and now you stuck with the other one. And then you tell the one who was actually productive, we're going to go in a different direction. We need other guys to step up because you don't even have the money to give him a small raise. You don't have the money now to say, Cedric, we want to give you $3 million. I can't wait to see what Buffalo gave him. But you don't have the few dollars now to give him a small, it ain't no giant. He ain't looking to go make $12 million. You don't even have the money in good spirit to say you were productive, you were our number 3, and give him a very small raise to keep him in Miami because he thought he was going to be retained. But now you're stuck with Cedric Wilson, who literally made all that money to give you oh my God. I'm telling y'all, if TD got on the football field today, I would be trash, but I guarantee you 17 games, I'm getting me $150. I'm getting me $150. I don't care. I'm going to be trash on that field, but I can guarantee you I'm going to get me $150. Sign me. You out here paying receivers millions of dollars to get 136 yards. Man, give me a league minimum, and I'm going to get me $150. I guarantee it. Gotta be kidding me. Don't even have the few bucks to reward Sherfield for his play. And the saddest thing about it is you literally brought him in for 1 year because you didn't care how he performed. Because he actually did well. Every time his number was called, which was few in between because we force-fed the ball to Tyreek and Waddle, he was at least there to do his job. But, ladies and gentlemen, they say I'm negative, but yet another example of Chris Grier failing and making a bad decision. Somebody said, who's worse, TD, Sherfield or Fuller? What problem do we have with Sherfield? Why are people saying Sherfield did something wrong? Y'all do realize Sherfield said, I thought I was coming back to Miami. He didn't switch out. Miami literally told him, we straight. We want another guy to step up. Sorry, Wilson or Fuller? That's a good question. I mean, it's still got to be Will Fuller. It's still got to be. No, it ain't Will Fuller because Will Fuller probably still in them few games. Wait, let me look it up. I got to look it up now. Will Fuller, what, he played like 1 or 2 games? Man, hold on. Fuller didn't play. Oh, he played. I remember he caught that. He dropped that touchdown in the back of the end zone. No, I ain't forget. Oh yeah, he only played 2 games. He didn't even start. 8 targets, 4 receptions, 26 yards. I gotta say Fuller's still worse, though. Yeah, because he got paid more. Fuller got paid more. Anyway, listen. So Trent Sherfield is a Bill. Okay, he is a Buffalo Bill. And since we're talking about that, let's go ahead and address the press conference with Sherfield today. He made a comment which said, if you want to be an elite receiver, you got to play with an elite quarterback. And the world went crazy. This was funny to me. This was fun and funny to me, and I got to tell y'all why. The world went crazy about that comment, and everybody came out, oh, he ragging on Tua. Tua ain't elite. Now, y'all don't have to believe me, but for the first time, I know I hate Josh Allen. I know I dislike Josh Allen, and I'm about to prove it to y'all. Because for the first time, I didn't even see the opportunity to call Tua out. TD didn't see the opportunity to call Tua out. Let that sink in. When I read that, I laughed. And I didn't realize the Tua element to it. So I went on my Twitter and I said, man, I'm not even going to say nothing. I'm going to address this on the show. And in my mind, all I kept thinking about is Sherfield finna learn the hard way that bum Josh Allen ain't elite. And I still wouldn't think about the Tua element. Not until 30 minutes later when my Twitter just started blowing up. Oh, you always hating on Tua. You taking it out of context. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are they talking about now? So I'm reading the thread. I'm like, oh, I get it. I never even mentioned Tua's name. You got all kind of people tweeting. People take any opportunity to take shots at Tua, and it's getting sad and all kind of stuff. And I'm like, I ain't even mentioned Tua. And it showed me they call people who don't believe in Tua a negative, bad group or whatever. But it made me further realize. It made me further realize how bad they are. They are so invested in defending this kid that even when you're not even talking about him, they attack you because they think you are. So y'all know me. As soon as they thought I was talking about Tua and they started attacking me, I said, oh, well, let's go. So we kept on egging it on. And I still wasn't even using Tua's name in the process. But it's sad. Yeah, we got the super chats on, man. But it's sad. They attack you even whenever you're not even talking about Tua because they think you're talking about him. TD, stop hating on the future all-pro Dan Feeney, man. Y'all better stop with that Dan Feeney stuff, all right? We're going to talk about this stuff, all these pickups too. But it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm over it. There is a group in our fan base that's, I'm sorry, you get mad at me all you want. They're just soft. They're just sweet, soft, emotional, cupcake, cotton candy, happy people. It is what it is. They sit around here going on a defense of somebody when you ain't even talking about them. Yeah, for the first time, I wouldn't even talk. I was actually disappointed in myself that I didn't see the opportunity for me to get at Tua on that. But that's how bad it is. And then when I finally tell them, I wouldn't even talk about Tua after about 3 hours later. I wasn't even talking about Tua. No, don't try to backtrack. You gaslighting and all this. I don't care about you enough to try to gaslight you. I don't care about you enough to try to gaslight you. It absolutely makes no sense. But with that being said, let me break down Trent Sherfield, what he said and what I believe, what I think about it in real life. since we're there now. First of all, Josh Allen ain't elite. I know a lot of people would disagree with me. I can care less. I don't think he's elite. I think he's one of the main reasons his team loses every year. It's my opinion. And what Sherfield basically was saying was simple. I'm not going, Miami doesn't want me anymore. So if I'm going to be an elite receiver, then I might as well go play with an elite quarterback. They ain't got nothing to do with Tua because Miami ain't want him. Now, we ain't got to hear from Trent Sherfield to know that Tua ain't elite. He wasn't going to validate whether or not Tua is elite. We don't have to hear from Sherfield to tell us that he ain't elite for us to feel some type of way. People need to understand what elite is. Elite is something you can't get right away. I haven't given Patrick Mahomes the elite status until after this season. He is officially elite to me because he had less around him and took up a large amount of the cap and still carried his team. That's what elite players do. Elite players play at a high level on a consistent basis for a significant period of time. You can't be elite for 2 years and think you elite. No, you need to show 3+ years of high-level play on a consistent basis before somebody talking about elite. How many times I got to tell y'all, 3 years ago, Ryan Tannehill led the NFL in quarterback rating. Ryan Tannehill was number 1 and number 2 in almost every statistical category. But y'all don't want to say he elite. Elite ain't something that you just get right away because you had a great season. Lamar Jackson ain't even proven to be technically elite. And he won an MVP. Elite players play at that level for a significant amount of time. Not 1 or 2 years and then a bum. And they get to live off of elite for 5-10 years. You know who got an elite status early on because y'all was sold on the Super Bowl? And now you look at them and then you put their whole career together. They not elite. They really good, but they not elite. Russell Wilson. You can disagree with me all you want about that too. But this is what I'm talking about. He historic defense, historic run game. He wins a Super Bowl. He's elite. No, he not. Show me a player when they ain't got everything around them. It could still be a good team, but it ain't everything. And let me see them ball out. Now we having a conversation. Truth be told, ladies and gentlemen, right now in the NFL, you don't have to like this, but right now in the NFL, there is only one elite quarterback, and that is Patrick Mahomes. There may be 2 or 3 that's right there, but just ain't over the hump yet. For example, Joe Burrow. You do what you've been doing the last few years this year, you enter that threshold. You enter that threshold. I'm just saying, man. These titles we throw out here. And my thing is there's levels to everything. And for the love of God, please stop using one statistical year for a player to justify what you think they are. If you can only bring 1 year of a player to compare to somebody else, then you already lost your argument. Especially if that's the only year you can prove your argument. I don't care what year it was. And most of y'all know what I'm talking about. Every time I look up on social media, it's Tua stats this year versus somebody else this year. If you have to literally single out 1 year of stats for somebody, then you already lost your argument. Now, if you want to take his 3 years of stats and compare it to anybody, now you got an argument, but it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up anymore. So stop. Salute to the homie with the donation. She said, TD, this is different. When we draft Tannehill and waited for 7 seasons for it to work, and now we are waiting again. That's my opinion. Facts that I see. Now, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. See, here's the thing. I want you to go back to Tannehill. Remember that season Tannehill started 8-3 and he was at the prime of his career. I think it was like year 4 and year 5 or something like that. He had just got his deal. He finally got the O-line, Cognito and all of them, Bullygate. Remember? And we were balling. We were literally 8-3 and we were like, woo! And Tannehill tore his ACL or his knee or something, blew out. Do you remember that? See, one thing we don't realize sometimes these major injuries tend to be blessings in disguise. Because that year was the year that I believe with Ryan Tannehill, we might have won a playoff game and maybe lost in the second round. But I say that to say this. Had he not gotten hurt that year, Tannehill might have did more than 7 years in Miami. Tannehill might have did more than 7 years in Miami because he had a lot better. It still wasn't what we got now on this team, but he had a lot better around him. So him missing that rest of that season, then coming back and missing most of the next season because he just blew it again in practice, his leash became really short at that point. So his subpar play the very next year wrote it for him, shipped him to Tennessee. But had he not had gotten hurt in those 2 years before, guess what he would have been for us? He would have been exactly what your boy in Cincinnati was all those years with Ocho Cinco now. If I'm not mistaken, Andy Dalton. He would have taken up 10, 11 years of this franchise. Tannehill would have just been leaving. Y'all ain't got to believe me. He would have just been leaving Miami. There was a great chance of that. Because if he hadn't gotten hurt and we would have went to the playoffs those 2 years and maybe won one playoff game, that was the era where you Andy Dalton and you keep going. But now we got Tua. And I see all the similarities. Carson Palmer. Then I ain't talking about Carson Palmer. I'm talking, where was Andy Dalton? Where was Andy Dalton? If you talk about Carson Palmer, then where was Andy Dalton? What team was that Andy Dalton was on? I hope I'm saying the right quarterback. The Panthers? Yeah, Cincinnati. I'm talking about Andy Dalton. I'm talking about Dalton then. Yeah, but Dalton was in a tougher division. What do you mean a tougher division? We dealing with the Patriots at the time. It couldn't get no tougher than that. They were the ones winning the Super Bowls all them years with Tannehill. It don't get tougher than that. Talk about tougher division. Yeah, I'm talking about, like I said, I'm talking about Andy Dalton. I'm talking about Andy Dalton. I know I ain't tripping. He did 9 years. He did 9 years with the Bengals. And that's all I'm saying. Tannehill would have probably did 9 if it didn't go down like that. That's why I say it's kind of a blessing in disguise too. But I say that to say this when it comes to Tua because of the super chat we had. Because the homie basically said in the super chat, we waited for 7 seasons for it to work, and now we are waiting again. Yeah. We're waiting again. Here we are, year 4, and we still don't know. We still don't know, y'all. Here we are in year 4, and we still don't know about Tua. We saw some flashes, nothing that can stick to the wall, nothing that's long-term consistent because all it's been is a roller coaster. Tua ain't done nothing more than 3 games consistently in his whole career in a row. And now we've picked up the 5th-year option. They're either going to give him a long-term extension, then we got the Tannehill situation all over again, or they'll wait to see what it ends up being. They'll wait to see what it ends up being after this season if they want to give a contract extension. So at the end of the day, Tua got to get it done this year. He has to. It's like John Kitna. Bengals got to playoffs and got traded. Yeah. Tua has to do it this year. People are big time mistaken on this whole 5th-year option thought process. Picking up a 5th-year option when you don't really know always happens. It always happens. But it doesn't keep you from getting traded. A lot of people think that just because we picked up the 5th-year option, Tua's here for the next 2 years, which just isn't true. He still could get traded. Even this year. I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. But it could. All y'all who don't believe me, guess who else 5th-year option was picked up that got traded by Miami? Do you remember? It wasn't too long ago. It's the guy we want to put a statue in front of the stadium. Y'all forgot? I remember it was April something. We picked up Laramie Tunsil's 5th-year option. The Miami Dolphins picked up Laramie Tunsil's 5th-year option. Matter of fact, April 18th to be exact. April 18th. And then, let me see something. Give me a second. Yeah, see if I can give you the exact day. Let me see here. Was that 2019? Man, I didn't even realize it was that close to the beginning of the season. It was actually after preseason, huh? Ain't that something? September the 1st. Laramie Tunsil was traded September 1st. 5 months later, didn't even get to play the season. 5 months later, he was traded. So the 5th-year option was something that they didn't know they were going to exercise anyway. Because if Tua balls out, they saving money. If he doesn't ball out, they could still look to move him or trade him. Jonah said the 4th quarter of the Green Bay game reminded me of Baker Mayfield final days in Cleveland. That was the game when the league figured Tua out and there was nothing he could do about it. We'll talk about that too in a second. But I say that to say this. I have to be honest with y'all. I don't think the Dolphins are competent enough to do what they necessarily need to do in regards to the quarterback position. But I'm still holding out hope. I'm holding out hope that before week 1 of the regular season, that the Miami Dolphins trade for Lamar Jackson. I don't know why I ran a blank. I'm still holding out hope because we could still have the money for it. We got like $5 million right now. We get another 14 back post June from your boy Byron Jones. That's about 19 million. If they restructure, if they give him an extension, Christian Wilkins, that'll clear 10 million. That's 29 million. If they give Connor Williams his extension, that'll clear about 8 million. That gives you 37 million. Then if you go ahead and give Robert Hunt his extension, which is an interesting one. If you give Robert Hunt his extension, that would hold on. Matter of fact, give me a second. I could tell you now about Robert Hunt. That's the one I don't know how much you would give. Robert Hunt, son, 2 to 3 million. It'll only clear up on 3.5 million. But that puts you close to 40. And what people need to understand is when you bring Lamar Jackson in, his first year cap hit ain't gonna be $40 million. You can make it 10 million if you want. You can make it 15. You can do the Deshaun thing and make it 1 million. You can make it whatever you want. It's how you structure the deal long term and on the back end. So the reality is when people say we don't have money and all this and that, we could easily have the money if we wanted to. But I have no confidence Chris Grier is going to do what's necessary because at the end of the day, I believe at this point Chris Grier is stuck with having to prove his draft picks. And what do I mean by that? Austin Jackson, Noah Igbenogany, Tua Tagovailoa, these guys, Liam Eichenberg, some of those guys got to work out or Chris Grier getting fired. Salute to my brother Pure Finn said, why sign Henry if we already paid ours? Trash money. I'm going to talk about that. But salute to the homie Pure Fins, man. He sent your boy the gift. This is handmade, by the way. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. You don't even realize, man. This is love, brother. Salute to you, man. I'm going to have to give me a little clear case to put it in. Love it, man. But yeah, I just hope Lamar don't end up a Patriot. But anyway, we have the money if we wanted to. And ladies and gentlemen, stop letting people see what's happening out here in the Dolphin community. The narrative is trying to be controlled. Like this whole information age with politics and all of that, it's the same in sports. People try to control the narrative. And I see through all of it. And that's why I have this show, because I pointed out to y'all. Stop letting people change the narrative, even with guys like Lamar Jackson. Why would you want Lamar Jackson when he's just this injury prone? Well, first of all, you got one injury prone person and you got another injury prone person. If they both injury prone, then you got to look at the other factors and determine whether or not you want them. Stop bringing up the fact that he gets a lot of injuries too as a deciding factor not to get them. That's null and void because the guy that you're keeping has injuries. So somebody else with injuries, you shouldn't stop going to get them because they have them too. If you're going to keep one with them, That is null and void. That is not a factor in the Lamar Jackson versus Tua Tagovailoa conversation. Injuries should never even be discussed because they both have them. I'm one of the few people that do not talk about injuries when it comes to Tua versus Lamar Jackson. It's an irrelevant point because neither of them gets one up over the other. But that also don't mean, no, you got to keep the injury-prone person you got. No, you got to go with the other elements. He's just a more superior player, a more superior athlete, a guy who extends plays. Do you understand the new element for a quarterback in the NFL is what you can do when the play breaks down? And we know what he does when the play breaks down, and we know what Tua does when the play breaks down. Lamar is going out there trying to get touchdowns when the play breaks down. Tua's getting hurt. Tua's trying to shake you for 6 yards, max, maybe 10 on occasions. And that brings me back to Trent Sherfield, what he said today, because I saw his press conference. They trying to control that narrative too. They also asked him a question in the interview. Now that you're playing with Josh Allen, who's more of a bigger threat, going from a guy like Tua, what's going to be different between them two to you? But nobody want to talk about his response on that. He said, well, playing with Josh Allen, I know that when the play breaks down, the play isn't over now. These were his exact words. I know that with Josh Allen, I'm not just going to go out there and do my job and the play is over. I got to go out there and do my job, and when it breaks down, I got to even do more now because he's a guy who extends plays. He's a guy that when it all breaks down, you got to look for him because he's going to make a play. You got to keep playing through it. That's the difference between him and Tua. But nobody talked about when he said that. Nobody want to have that conversation all on Twitter and stuff. Talk about y'all taking it out of context. Well, I ain't taking that out of context. Off script plays, thank you. He said with Josh Allen, he's going to extend plays and you can make an off-script play. And the difference between the two, with Josh Allen, the play isn't over. And it's true. Because Tua is limited. He has to be in that pocket. He has to get rid of the ball quick. And he has to be precise with anticipation. And that's all he's going to give you. Anything deviates from that is going to be a failure of a play. And the guys that are making the difference in the NFL, it comes down to those plays where nothing's there and you make something happen. You're extended. You buy time. And that's something we don't have the luxury of in Miami. And that's the frustrating thing about it too. When you just know we don't have that element. We don't have that element and we won't have that element. And a lot of times you need that element. Gesicki goes to the Patriots. We're going to talk about that real quick. Read the super chat first. Scant Dollar said, TD, I watched Tua game film and highlights without trying to be critical, but could not help to notice he gets swallowed up in the pocket. Receivers still have to jump up off their feet for 10-yard slants and slow down for deep balls. Well, I commend you watching film of Tua without trying to be critical, but you still couldn't help but find things. I urge everybody to do that. Try to watch film of Tua without being critical. Try not to be critical. Try to just be, positive. And you'll see some good things. You'll see some really good things. You will. That's the thing. I've never shied away from saying this about Tua because everybody say I got a narrative, but I've been very consistent in my message. He's good enough not to be good enough, which means you're not a scrub. You're not a bum. You're not trash. Now, he'll have trash moments, and I'll call it out, but he's not. He belongs in the NFL, but he is a low-end starter, a high-end backup. He can win games, help you win games, or not be the reason you lose sometimes. But he can also lose you some games and be the reason you lose sometimes. And the frustrating part is you'll always say, he got the skill, but can he put it together? He'll always make you say that at some point. He'll go 2 or 3 weeks straight and light it up and make you feel like, yeah, man, we good. We Gucci. We got our guy. And then 3 weeks later, you're like, I'm done with him. And that's dangerous, especially when you have a GM whose job relies on his success. And I see a recipe of year after year after year of trying to make it work. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a part of me that think that Chris Greer is just waiting on the next injury so he can have an out. Real talk. Chris Greer is probably like, I hope it works out and I hope he balls, but just in case he doesn't, if he get hurt again, I finally got an out. Nobody would be able to say I ain't justified. Why are we so worried about the backups for Miami? Should we have to not worry? What backups you talk about? For Miami, should we have to not worry? You got to elaborate. You got to elaborate. I don't know what you mean worrying about the backups. What backups are we worried about? And I'll go from there. I'll look out for your response, bro. People don't realize how much better our defense just got. Tua does not have to be better than last season. Because our defense had plenty of holes and we still won 9 games and made the playoffs. I am glad you said that. Let me put this comment up here because I need to help y'all understand something. You see, this is something Dolphin fans don't think about. It's something Dolphin fans don't think about. He said because our defense had plenty of holes. Number one, we had plenty of holes due to injury. This is a whole new year. Who say we ain't gonna have injuries again? See, we just automatically, our defense got better. Okay, what if X tweaks something in the summer like he always does, and it's just Jalen out there? And we waiting on X to get back. See, these things happen. These things happen, and we live a world like they're not going to happen and thinking that we're just ready for war. You're not ready for war unless you know that if one of your stars go down, you're still in a good position. You know how many people went down last year in that secondary? We on the defense in general, we had to have at least 8 people go down. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but 6 for sure. And when have we had a year where we didn't have more than 4 go down? So you got to expect it. It's just a matter of who. It's just a matter of who. And this is every team. So this is every team that deals with this. But this notion, our offense doesn't need to get better, our defense is getting better, so Tua ain't got to do much. That's wrong too, because the most underrated thing that people, this is what people's underrating the most with the Miami Dolphins this year. They don't believe 0% that the league is starting to figure us out. Even though if you look at our last 5 or 6 games, absolutely teams figured us out. If you just look at the last 5 or 6 games, but people don't want to believe that at all. No, when we come back this year, it's going to be week 1 through 9 all over again. Well, week 1 wasn't even great offensively. Week 6 or something versus Pittsburgh wasn't even great. Week 3 versus Buffalo wasn't even great. We ain't have to do much. It was a possession game. Cincinnati game wasn't great. Do we not realize that the Ravens' glorious fourth quarter, the Lions, the Bears, and the Browns, outside of that, where do we get off that we're this offensive juggernaut? Somebody got to answer that one for me. I just named 4 games outside, really 3.5, but 4 games. Outside of those 4 games, where do we get this impression that we're this offensive juggernaut? Because our guys catch 1 or 2 Hail Marys a game? If Tua gets hurt, why are we worried about the backups? That's my problem. I need one to not get hurt. That's true. Exactly, but we stuck with it. We stuck with it. Rashad J said, what tells us we are not? You're the 28th ranked rushing offense in the NFL. An offensive juggernaut is plowing over people every week and doing it in any way. See, that's the key. They do it in any way. If you stop the pass, we bludgeoning you with the run. You stop the run, we killing you with the pass. Not one-dimensional pass. We're not an offensive juggernaut. When we couldn't pass the ball versus the Chargers, what then? San Francisco, what then? Somebody said not true. Buffalo don't run the ball well, and that's why they go home every year. Ask anybody, what will help Buffalo get to the next level? What's the answer? Ask anybody, what would help Buffalo get to the next level? What is the answer? Would you rather trade for Jackson or Henry? Jackson all day. Lamar Jackson all day. It's not even close. Lamar's going to bring both elements. Henry only one. Anyway, the Dolphins are going to have to figure out a way to get better in the run game this year. They are. The rankings we have in run offense and our utilization is pitiful. It's pathetic. It needs to do better. Mike McDaniel is going to have to figure out a way for us to be able to run the ball more. Have a better balanced attack. Teams are starting the game plan for Tua and bait him. That's the reality. And I think Trent Sherfield may do better this year under Josh Allen. And it's not about Tua, but it is to a degree, because at least Josh Allen's going to read the field. The thing with Tua, we're not reading the field. We're just literally, we already know where we typically already know where we're going with the ball. Tua already knows where he's going to go with the ball. And McDaniel calls the plays as such. McDaniel gives them a play and tell them Waddle should be the main target on this. Tyreek should be the main target on this. That's why whenever you see situations where McDaniel say that's my fault, y'all ever notice that when McDaniel be like certain offensive play calls, he be like, that was my fault. I told him to go there. Do y'all remember that? McDaniel be saying stuff like that, but nobody think about what did that mean when he says it. That's actually on me. I told him to go there. How you gonna call a play and tell him where to go? Because it's a basic elementary offense, literally spoon-fed. This is the play call, so the team knows what to do, and you're gonna go to Tyreek here. This is the play call, and you're gonna go to Waddle. That's what's happening in Miami. That's what's happening. Yes, really. Unless y'all can explain to me why McDaniels keeps saying that when he do his press conferences at the games on a bad play from Tua. Well, actually, that's my fault. I told him to go there. That's on me. But nobody talks about when he says that. Bye, Ray. Nobody talks about that. It just go in one ear and out the other, and it don't matter. But it has a meaning. And I'm telling y'all now, that kid better show up and show out this year, man. Because if he don't, I'm telling you now, I'm gonna be so mad. If he fails us this year, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad. He better show up and show out this year and ball out. Never heard another NFL coach say that about a QB in over 50 years. Yeah. And people say, "Oh, I'm wrong or whatever." But can anybody explain to me what that means? When Mike McDaniel be saying that crap in his press conferences, well, that one's on me. I actually told him to go there. What? What does that mean? Because maybe I am taking it out of context, but what in the heck does that mean? That was a bad call on me. I told him to go there. Somebody, please tell me what you get out of that so I can be like, yeah, that's logical. Maybe I'm taking it out of context. But I ain't gonna lie, I've been thinking about that for the longest. I just never said it. But I was like, is he calling plays and telling them where to go with the ball? because I just don't understand what that means. But nobody can explain it. Figures. That's called coaching. A play caller calling plays. What the F? you don't see it, do you, Ty Bless? You give a quarterback the play, and depending on the defense, you determine where you should go with the ball. A coach doesn't predetermine who you should be going to because he don't see the defense and what they in. And that's the scary part. That's why I feel like some of the crazy mistakes that Tua make, it'd be like, why would he even throw that? And it makes even more sense because that's what McDaniel told where he told him to go. I thought it was Tua's job to see the field. Me too, but according to somebody just now, they just said, that's what coaches do. I don't know a coach that do that. I don't know, man. Like I said, maybe it's just me. Anywho, Gesicki to the Patriots, y'all. So Trent Sherfield goes to Buffalo. Like, let me tell you something. If teams have starting to figure this offense out, our own division will have a real good hold on this offense now. You don't think Trent Sherfield gonna tell them all they need to know when we play them? You don't think Trent Sherfield ain't gonna tell them all they need to know when we play them? That's common sense. He already over there talk about, I'm here to help bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo. He gonna tell Buffalo all they need to know. You know Belichick getting everything from Gesicki. You know good and well Belichick getting everything from Gesicki. Gave him $9 million too. Gave him some decent money. He didn't care about the numbers going down. He knew what Gesicki was. Gesicki's numbers last year was what? Worth $3 million, $4 million? He got $9 million. Belichick know what he getting in Mike Gesicki. Gesicki not a big loss as y'all think. No, I don't think that. He ain't a loss at all in Miami because we don't use him. We don't know how to use him in this system. This system ain't for nobody but Tyreek and Waddle because you force feed the playmakers. This is my argument to people about this whole Tyreek had his best season under Tua. No, you got a quarterback that ain't spread ball around. You got a quarterback that's force feeding guys, so he should have had his best season. Mahomes ain't over there force feeding nobody. Mahomes never force fed Tyreek. As much as they came out and literally said it themselves, we spread the ball out to whoever's open, what the play dictates. In your opinion, how long is our window to get a Super Bowl, and how far you think Tua needs to take us to secure his job for the future if he can? We got a 2-year window to get it done. Now we can extend that window. But y'all ain't gonna like the solution to extend the window. The solution to extend the window would be if Tua plays like he did last year, right? Above average. Not great, but above average. And they give him a contract extension, but it's peanuts. It's like $25 million a year. You maybe can extend. You can maybe extend the window, which is dangerous because you just wasting more time. But yeah, that's possible. Nah, y'all don't worry about the chat. I mean, that happens on occasions. I am in subscriber only mode. I mean, they subscribed and they came and they're spamming. It's fine. I'm doing my show anyway. Just ignore them. They'll be gone soon, or they'll stay here for an hour or two and waste their time. That's their business. But yeah. TD, TD, your Twitter trolling got the whole Dolphin community in shambles. Why? You mean today? I don't get it. All I did is said on Trent Sherfield's comments about playing with Josh Allen about the elite quarterback, elite receiver. All I said is I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'll deal with it on the show tonight. I was just gonna come on the show and say Josh Allen is not elite. But they made it about Tua, and I didn't. So they can get mad. Somebody said you were insinuating, and I told them stop insinuating my insinuations. Andres Madrid said, TD, real talk, squad looking loaded for Caleb Williams. We'll win enough games to not get Caleb. Even if we win 8 games, that ain't Caleb worthy. That is not Caleb worthy. So how much better do Fins become with Derrick Henry? We become a lot better. If we got Derrick Henry in a right tackle, we go to the Super Bowl with Tua. Yeah, we could. Still be tough. What this talk about Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry, that situation is real. Let me tell y'all something. First of all, there's flip sides to everything. Okay. First of all, y'all see how I'm saying to y'all, I don't see how they could not still potentially might go after Lamar, right? Even though I don't believe they will, but it just makes sense because you don't trust this with a Tua, right? All of this talent and all of that, right? But at the same token, say you are trusting it with Tua, then like how can you status quo this thing and run it back with the same? Like, matter of fact, this is a good segue to one of my topics we're going to talk about tonight. We got absolutely not a single offensive upgrade this offseason. Do y'all realize that? We made 0 offensive upgrades. Matter of fact, we technically downgraded slightly. No upgrades whatsoever. Teron Armstead is a year older and no upgrades. We got to go win a Super Bowl. And how do you do that? You go get a right tackle and you go get Derrick Henry because we got the money to do it. We have the money to do it. Man, Ty Bless, if y'all don't stop with this, if y'all don't stop with this Braxton Berrios stuff, man, oh my gosh. Oh, if y'all don't stop playing with me with this Braxton Berrios, oh man, I ain't gonna lie, he kind of fit the system though. Like using them in like jet sweeps and all of that type of stuff, in the wheel route and all of that. But if y'all don't stop playing with me in this Braxton Berrios stuff. See, let me say this. Braxton Berrios was trash last year, by the way. Let's get that straight. He wasn't no good. And also, and I spoke to Richie, what's his thought about him? He was like, oh, y'all can have him over that. But 62.8 PFF, poor. And everybody's saying, yeah, but the 2 years before that, he was really good. He was a 74 and a 72. Which, by the way, which is true. He did have solid years, right? in large part, a lot of the rating also comes from his special teams play. But at the same token, people need to realize, man, this ain't nothing but a little special teams ace. That's all it is. He gonna get a shot here and there on offense to have an opportunity here and there. His best season is what Trent Sherfield did last year. 2021, he had 430 yards. That's Trent Sherfield this year. We didn't upgrade anything. We downgraded because we lost the weapon in the Gesicki because we don't know how to use them. And you know what? We know how to use Gesicki as an offensive weapon. The problem is he ain't number one or number two. And Mike McDaniel calling the play. Like, I want y'all to really think about that. Think about when Tua wasn't in the game, how Teddy and Skyler found Gesicki, but Tua barely could ever. I want y'all to think about that. Seriously, think about that. He barely could find him. I had something here. The man averaged like 13 yards a game under Tua and like 28 without Tua. And that still ain't much, but it's a difference. And I'm telling y'all now, the reason why he averaged so much less with Tua because Tua already know where he throwing the ball. And it's Tyreek or Waddle. It's crazy, man. But he will be utilized in New England. But no, we didn't make any upgrades on the offense. Matter of fact, we downgraded, okay? We did make upgrades on the defense in two areas. Cornerback with Jalen Ramsey and linebacker with Long. All these other moves on defense, ain't no other upgrade. Stop letting these people lie to y'all. Everybody else is a body. Everybody else is a body. And here's the funny thing. We keep on signing all these bodies that are no name, nobody. Man, they ain't nobodies. They ain't nobodies until they earn it. And we keep signing them and everybody trying to justify it. Oh, that's a Fangio pickup. Oh, man, Fangio going to work wonders with him. Boy, y'all just love giving the credit. Automatic. Y'all love giving credit automatic, but I don't hear nobody saying what Fangio going to do for Noah Igbenogany. Why I don't hear some of y'all same people telling me what Fangio going to do for Noah Igbenogany? Y'all see the contradiction? Yeah, they don't want to talk about that, do they? Every guy we pick up in the secondary, oh, that's a Fangio pickup. I know the PFF wasn't good, but this guy has some talent, and Fangio's going to bring the most out of him. If that was the case, then why we out there looking for anybody? We should just be saying, hey, we about to make Noah this and that. And I'm the one with the narrative. Lord Jesus. Oh, man. Yeah, we can get Henry if Greer willing to do what it takes. Give that second round pickup and go get him. That's all Tennessee asking for is a 2. The problem is Derrick Henry will be due a new deal. Whoever he get traded to got to give him a new deal. Hey, get the running back. You don't want to go get the quarterback, then go get the running back. Noah won us a game. Ain't that funny? Technically, he did because the offense put points up, but the defense didn't do well. But Noah made the stop at the end. Yeah, a 2 and 15 million. So what? A 2 and 15 million. So what? So what? If Derrick Henry came here, he would be just as important as Tua on the offense. 130 rushing yards a game, a guaranteed touchdown a game from Henry. Yeah, man. That's moving it, man. Yeah, you got to go do that. Do you think Eric E will end up being our third receiver? Third receiver, something like that. I don't know. It depends because I'm still shaking my head in confusion of why he never got the opportunity to move up last year when Cedric Wilson was out there doing nothing. You know, I need to stop. See, here's where I'm being unfair. Yeah, I'll admit I am being unfair. I gotta stop dogging Cedric Wilson. I gotta stop dogging Cedric Wilson. He got paid a lot of money and didn't do absolutely nothing. But I gotta stop dogging this man. Um, at the end of the day, you can go out there, you can run all the routes you want, but if they're not throwing the ball to you, I can't knock the man. He was only targeted 18 times the entire season. 18 times. And he caught 67% of the passes, 2 out of every 3. That's pretty good. Be quite honest with you. I mean, that's pretty dope. It ain't his fault if the ball ain't being thrown his way either. Well, it could be just depending on, being open and stuff like that. But let me look at something real quick. Back here, listen to my daughter. Offensive snaps. On average, he played about. I want to say he got about 18 snaps a game. Cedric Wilson. Outside of special teams, he got about 18 snaps per game. Yeah. Part of the problem is 1, 2, 3, 4. There was even 4 games where he didn't even get a target. Well, 5 games, 6 games, no targets. 6 games, no targets. He had 2 games that he was inactive, where he didn't play at all. But yeah. So you mean to tell me listen, y'all, this man averaged 1 target per game. Cedric Wilson averaged 1 target per game. So he got the ball thrown to him 1 time out of the, all right, let me see, offensive snap percentage. Yeah, I was wrong. He actually have about a 25% snap percentage, about almost 20 a game. Yeah, he got 1 target out of every 20 plays. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Let me look at Tyreek Hill. That's the only issue I have with this offense, y'all. It's the simple fact that how are other guys supposed to be their best version or get off when you're not even trying, not Tua, but Mike McDaniel. You're not even trying to get these other guys the ball. It's simply Tyreek Waddle. Get it to Tyreek Waddle. So while Trent Sherfield got 1 target a game, Tyreek Hill got 17 targets per game. 17 targets a game. He had 17 games and 170 targets. And Waddle had 117 targets. I want to do Waddle's math real quick. So Waddle has 7. Wait. Hold on. Give me a second. I got that wrong. So Tyreek had 10 targets a game, I believe. My bad. That's my bad math. 10 targets a game. Waddle had 7 targets a game. I believe that's what the math comes out to. Derrick Henry wasn't enough to overcome Tannehill's deficiencies. It still comes down to the quarterback to make the play, just like Ricky Williams with no QB could get us a ring. Yeah, Tennessee had more problems than that as well, though. Tannehill was an issue in the playoffs. He played phenomenal in the regular season in most cases, but in the playoffs, he definitely did have some lackluster play in his decision making. But I will say this, that team, that's why they're getting rid of everybody now and trying to rebuild what they're doing. They got some work to do. They got rid of the entire O-line. 2 years ago, it was one of the best O-lines in football, and they just got rid of the whole line because last year most of them were hurt, and they just didn't continue with it. In your opinion, how long is our window to get a Super Bowl, secure the job future if we can? And how far you think Tua needs to take us to secure his job for the future if he can? For Tua to get a big-time contract, again, they can give it to him anyway because we keep making dumb decisions. But if I was the general manager, Tua would have to you see that, first of all, he got to play 17 games. The requirement for Tua is playing 17 games. That's number one. Number two, you remember the Lions, Bears, Ravens, and Browns game? 4 games. I need 10 of those. I need 10 of those out of 17 games. I need 10 of those. I need 5 games where you're between average and good that ain't top level. Because those 4 games were the top of his game. So I need 10 of those. I need 5 games where you're average to good. And you can give me 2 stinkers. You can give me 2 stinkers. Two games that's below average or worse. See, people keep on saying, how far would he need to take us? That's not a good question to ask because you're making the assumption that he's the reason you got that far. Tannehill won a playoff game in Tennessee throwing for 89 yards or something like that, 90 yards. Are we going to say Tannehill got him to the second round? No. So it's not how far we get that determines if no. The only success that would matter with Tua, as far as how far we get, is if we won a Super Bowl. Then that supersedes everything. Because that means you can win a Super Bowl regardless of if he was great or not. It's that simple. He does that, he'll win MVP. Why not? But we'll have our answer. See, what I don't want to happen, which very well might happen, which sucks so bad, you don't want Baker Mayfield's best season. Y'all see what I'm saying? You don't want he was good this year. He wasn't bad, but he didn't ball out, but he was good. You don't want that. Oh, gosh, but that's what Tua, oh my gosh, it's like you can't either be great all the time or bad all the time, so we have an answer. It just keeps you like, I see a little something, but he's still a bum. Maybe, crap. TD for running back, why not Latavius Murray? Is it age? It's not age because this team is built to not care about age at this point because you got a 2-year window. Age is irrelevant. Now, if you have injury history and you have a higher age, you don't want to go for it because you're probably going to miss those guys in the regular season. He's going to throw 38 TDs next year. That'd be sweet. I'll tell you that. That'd be sweet. Yeah. You just got to stay healthy and play the season. 38 will be sweet for Tua. But if you play 17 games, wouldn't you want Tua to be upper echelon like the rest of them guys putting up 40s? If he playing at a high level consistently, he should easily be able to crack 40, 45. At V21, so it's kind of bad to say, but do you really want Tua to do good? You think Miami would give him the bag? Of course, you should give him the bag if he does good. My problem is, this is what I'm scared of. The definition of doing good. They said Tua did good this year. This is not a good year. Now, to Tua Tagovailoa standards, it might be good, but if you put it next to the best quarterbacks, this wasn't a good season. Just like Aaron Rodgers this year. He didn't have a good season. But if you put it to Tua standards, he had a good season. Tom Brady didn't have a good season, but if you put it to Tua standards, it was a good season. That's the frustrating part. It's the definition of what was a good season. I don't want another year like this year. I want better than that. But they're trying to make us believe that this was a good year. It was better. It wasn't a good year. It was just better than it been. It's like being a boxer and getting knocked out in the first round for 10 straight games, for 10 straight matches. And then your 11th match, you get knocked out in the second round and was like, this was a good fight by him. Like, no, it wasn't. It was better. Oh my gosh, man. That's the problem. People out here playing with the definitions. People out here trying to sell stuff. This season was not a good season. Everybody toured with all the success this year. It wasn't a successful season. How you gonna go play versus the freaking 49ers the way you did, the Chargers the way you did, Green Bay the way you did, Buffalo the way you did, Pittsburgh the way you did, Patriots the way you did? And everybody out here talk about a successful season. Why are they doing that? Because they comparing it to his previous two. And they trying to make that a successful season. And you got people out here making it seem like, well, if he would have played all 17 games, he would have had a season like Mahomes did. He had 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Oh. So again, that's what I'm terrified about. Him having another good season. So say he plays all 17 games, right? What does that equate to? That means he may have had 2 more Browns and Bears games, which were phenomenal, right? That would have given him 2 more bum games, probably versus the Jets twice. And it would have gave him 3 games. And what they'll be like, man, they're going to talk about the 4 games he balled out plus the 2 more, which was 6, man. That's good, man. See, that's what I'm not here to be set up for. I'm not here to be set up for that. I'm just not. Anyway, Gesicki with the Pats is going to be real interesting. I can't wait to see how that transforms. Edmonds to the Jets, something I ain't worrying about. Last thing I wanted to talk about was the whole Aaron Rodgers first choice. Marcellus Wiley said one of his friends who's really close to Aaron Rodgers goes to the gym with him all the time and said Aaron didn't even want to go to the Jets. His first choice was to go to Miami, but they picked up Tua's 5th-year option. So he chose the Jets. I actually believe that. Whose choice wouldn't it be to want to come to Miami when you got Tyreek and Waddle? And it's Miami. But it just reminded me today. It just reminds me today that Brady, Watson, Lamar, Rodgers. You can add Phillip Rivers to that because we turned him down for the playoffs. We have 5 what many could call some of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Jimmy G got dog. 6 options. And we turned the ball down. We better win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years with Tua. I'm telling y'all now. We better win a Super Bowl. Yeah, you can add Justin Herbert because he was on the board and we chose Tua over him. So 7. 7 options, y'all. Hell, Hurts was on the board. 8. 8 options. Why do we always have to learn the hard way? Please have a great season this year, Tua Tagovailoa. Ball out. Super Bowl or bust. Mommy and baby girl playing. Super Bowl or bust, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Love after this year. Yeah, I gotta wait to see that. I gotta see Jordan Love balling out first. You don't get no credit from me. None. He did actually fall for the Aaron Rodgers rumor. Well, I guess I did. Chris Greer is dooming us. But we Dolphin fans, we've been through these things before. We've been through these things before. Imagine the Jets don't get Rodgers. That'll be a joyous day. I told them they're gonna screw it up. But again, I'm more worried about Lamar Jackson ending up in our division because if they don't, they'll be if the Jets don't get him, they'll be embarrassed. If they don't get Aaron, they'll be embarrassed. And what they'll do is they'll go after Lamar. I'm really worried about Lamar in the AFC East. I really am. I'm so serious. I'm really worried about him in the AFC East. And let me tell you who I'm really worried about. Nobody talking, but the Patriots are low key over there loading up. Low key. Juju, Gesicki, a few more. They doing it under the radar, but they loading up. And if they brought Lamar in, everybody, I'm telling y'all now, they are low key loading up. Hopkins, it's just a rumor right now. I'll wait to see it. But if they got Lamar Hopkins with Juju and Gesicki, y'all can kiss the baby. It's a wrap. I don't care what none of you say. It's a wrap. That's why I'm worried about the Jets getting Rodgers. That's already going to be tough. Yeah, Dolphin fans, we going to beat them. They steal the Jets. Yeah, all right. Yeah, okay. Okay. Gesicki and Juju counts as loading up. Yeah, loading up. They ain't finished loading. That's the point. I just said if they get Tyreek and D Hop. We'll see. We shall see. And by the way, TD, do you think Tua can stay healthy for 2 straight years? Not at all. 1 year, yes. That's another thing I'm scared of. This is his first healthy year. Then we give him the big deal. Back in the in and outs. It's another thing I'm worried about. Terrified. Y'all give me a second. Okay, here it is. This is what I'm looking for. See, the Patriots, they got Parker on a contract for $6 million this year, but they don't have any dead cap. They don't have any dead cap. So Parker could get cut if they wanted. But I don't know if they'll do that. Yeah, so listen. The last thing I'm going to say tonight is this. I did a stream saying, are the Dolphins doing the Dolphins better not be doing what I think they're doing, which is I hate being right in these situations. I told y'all on my last stream that I'm scared that they're not going to address the O-line, and you're going to see them bring in a whole bunch of bums. There's going to be competition, and that's exactly what we've got over the last 4 days, competition. And that was a fear of mine, and it's happening. I understand that people walking around here saying free agency is all summer. You got Melvin late in the summer and all of that stuff. Yeah, I get all of that. We can't get this wrong. I'm gonna have faith that we're gonna address the O line at some point. I'm gonna have faith in that. June 1st, when we get that 14 million, they're gonna save that for 2024 because they're gonna have to. Unless they go for broke, like really go for broke and go get a quarterback or something, they're gonna save that money for next year because they're gonna need every penny of it next year. What some of us don't realize, like I forgot to give y'all an update by the way of our cap situation. Let me see if they've updated it. So hold on, I'm gonna tell you how much cap space we probably got right now. All right, cap space with all 551. So we got about $6 million right now. Like I told y'all, we got about $6 million. Now, again, they need to update some numbers. But what I want y'all to pay attention to is 2024. That's the one I want you to pay attention to more. Give me a second. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Right now we are negative $47 million next year. As of right now, we are negative 47 million next year. I know many of y'all probably didn't know that. Negative 47. Well, to be exact, 46.5. Okay. We got all these restructured bonuses all up in here. Signing bonuses. I want to see how that ranks amongst. I want to see if they have that for all the NFL teams. Yeah, give me a second. I want to see where we rank against the rest of the league with that. I'll have to go back to the home page. NFL teams, cap tracker. All right, cap tracker 2024 update. All right. Yeah, give me a second. Jesus. Chicago Bears will have 209 million available next year. Texans 200 million. New England 146 million. See, they got the money to get a quarterback and plenty more. The Giants got money too. Tennessee done cleared their books for next year and got a lot of money. Cincinnati got 109. The Colts got 93. Falcons 81. Baltimore 80. Seahawks 71. Kansas City 62. Detroit 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62. 62 Let me skip all these teams. Philly 32, Dallas 20, Minnesota 10. And here are all of the negative people. Let's start with the people who have a negative cap next year. San Francisco, negative 9 million. Buffalo, negative 18. Denver, negative 27. Green Bay Packers, negative 33. Miami Dolphins, negative 46.5. Cleveland Browns, negative 53. Chargers, negative 75. And y'all already know who at the bottom, the Saints, negative 76. Do y'all notice that the New Orleans keeps getting bigger and bigger? And they're about to bust out. But how did we get all the way down there that quick? How did we get all the way down there that quick? Somebody said TD, the 5th year is including Austin Jackson's 14. No, his 14's in red. I'm looking at it right now. Tua's in black. His ain't even counting. Austin Jackson's 14 million ain't included. Noeg Monogamy's 11.5 ain't included because they didn't pick up the option. Tua is showing as included. So we're negative 46, and it's not even including Austin Jackson and Noah. Nor Byron Jones, who's still on here. The crazy thing is, technically, it's going to be even worse, y'all, because they got to pay Christian Wilkins. Where is Wilkins on here? Active players. Oh, man. Christian Wilkins ain't even on here because he won't be under contract unless. Wait, hold on. Give me a second. Oh, there it is. Market value 15 million is the market value right now for Christian. Hold on. What year is this for Christian Wilkins? Hold on. Is this Christian Wilkins' 5th year? Wow. That's why he's not even included. Because he a free agent next year unless you franchise or give him a deal. It's even going to be a worse cap hit then. When you give Christian Wilkins on here, it's going to be even worse. Because this doesn't even include Christian Wilkins. This don't even include Connor Williams. I am telling y'all now, it might not even be 2 years. It might be 1 year window. I am telling y'all, it might not even be 2 years. It might be a 1 year window. Because next year we're going to be doing it all over again. We're going to be telling Jalen Ramsey, hey man, can we restructure you? And the crazy thing is he already got an $11 million restructure cap hit next year. Y'all know Jalen Ramsey is a $28 million cap hit next year, and you can't restructure. Because out of that 28 million, 11 million is already a bonus, and $3 million is already a signing bonus. Well, they can restructure the $14 million, but they'll be kicking it down the road. Bradley Chubb, $22 million cap hit next year, 23 actually. Tyreek Hill, $34 million cap hit next year. Xavier Howard, $23 million. Tua, $23 million. Teron Armstead, $19 million. Yeah, Ogba, you out of there. Ogba won't be here next year. They got to save that money. Ogba gone. Jerome Baker. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been reading these cap hits wrong. Let me reread them. Tyreek is a $31 million cap hit. Ramsey, 28.5. Bradley Chubb, $27 million. Xavier Howard, $26 million. Tua, $23. Armstead, $21. Ogba, 18. He's gone. They're going to cut Ogba and deal with the $4 million dead cap. So that's going to be $13 million in savings. Jerome Baker, he's gone. $15 million cap hit. Yeah, they'll probably move on from Baker. Hope one of these young guys finally step up and they'll save $10 million. So that's $24 million in savings with Ogba and Jerome gone. Here's the funny part about it all. If Austin Jackson does ball out this year and we finally got a right tackle, you're going to have to pay him a new deal. You're going to have to pay him a new deal, or he a free agent. Somebody said X gone next year. Not with that $23 million dead cap. I don't know about that. But this is my point. Ogba gone, Jerome Baker gone. Now you talk about people like X. You already shredding the roster. Because you so far behind, you got to make big gains to get the cap under control. Also, we're in the situation Buffalo was in now. Every year going forward, you can't even make the roster better. You just got to make moves to get it under the cap, restructures. He won't break the bank. His injuries have hurt his value. I agree, ball game, but it ain't happening. But just say he does have a successful season, like Pro Bowl worthy, right? I don't think that's happening. But let's just take it off the table then. Let's just say he has a successful season. The point of the matter is he can become a free agent and test the market. Coming fresh off of a successful year as a tackle, he may not be buku dollars, but it still may be more than what Miami want to pay. We'll see. Then Jalen Waddle's going to need his long-term deal. Hey, boy, I ain't going to lie. We just did a show 2 weeks ago, and our 2024 cap was negative 17 or 18 million, if I'm not mistaken. Now it's negative 47 because of all those restructures. Big time. Bro, we have negative 7 million cap next season. TD is wrong. Bro, I'm sitting right here looking at it. I'm sitting here literally looking at it. Estimated cap space, negative 46 million. We're ranked 28th in the NFL. There's only 4 teams with a worse cap situation than us. And number 32 is the Saints at 75 million. We're definitely ain't no negative 7 million. We just did all these restructures. Think about it. If we were negative, what were we at the beginning of 3 weeks ago? Weren't we like negative 16 or something like that million? What make you think it's gonna be better next year after all these restructures? Bro, release them on Spool Track and the cap goes up. Bro, Javi, they already have it in red, man. That's what I'm saying to you. These are all the people that would be get off of here. Under contract. Those guys up there, that's if we pick up their 5th-year option. How do you feel about Sherfield coming to Buffalo? It ain't a big deal to me. I mean, y'all needed to get another receiver. But ain't like it's gonna move the needle for y'all. Now y'all nickel and diamond because it's all you can do at this point. All right, y'all give me a second here. I'll try this multi-year. Yeah. It's funny. All right, we okay. Don't worry. We have to win the Super Bowl this season. Yeah. We'll see. But they need to go ahead and get them people they give everybody the not the restructures, but the extensions. That's what I'm waiting on. I really want to see the extensions. All right, y'all give me a second. Publish roster. Crypto Dolphin Super Bowl just became a member. Salute to you, homie. Welcome. Welcome. All right. Give me a second, y'all. Oh my gosh, why isn't this working for me? Every time I reconnect the system, it does this. Yeah, I truly believe it. We're going after Derrick Henry, man. I think we're going after Derrick Henry. Jones. All right. Did I miss we're sweeping the division? Y'all really think we sweeping the division, huh? How we got 4 running backs already. That don't mean anything. Y'all gotta understand. Gaskins has a contract with no guarantees. He can get cut in training camp and there'll be no love lost. Y'all gotta go look at their contracts. There's barely any guarantees. So the 4 running backs is irrelevant. Having 4 backs is irrelevant. All right. Yeah. Henry doesn't even fit the scheme. Why do y'all keep saying that, ball game? Why do people keep saying Henry don't fit the scheme? Zone blocking like Tennessee. Why he don't fit the scheme? When you run the ball, you run the ball. Bring some power down on the defense. It'll open up the play action, which we definitely want to do. That's perfect for our scheme. Perfect for our scheme. Now, maybe you don't want them running the wheel routes and all of that, but y'all also got to understand our scheme is done got figured out now. Our scheme ain't worked for the last 6 weeks. How would he work? Matter of fact, you need to adjust the scheme and make it and make sure that he's a big part of it. Yeah, let me see. Hey, mama. Come on. I don't get it. I want Derrick Henry in Miami. So when Tua's having like Chargers type games, just put the ball in Derrick Henry's hand and let's live to fight another day. Adjust the scheme for Henry. Exactly. I mean, man, Henry fits the scheme anyway. He just don't fit all that motion wheel route crap that we kept doing and teams start figuring out. That's what he don't fit. Derrick Henry ain't finna be out here running wheel routes and stuff all day in motion. The scheme ain't figured out. You don't have a lot of time to do install. This scheme is figured out, ball game. It's figured out. You can go back to week 12 or 13 on forward. Most teams knew what was coming and baited us in it. In most cases. This offense ain't nothing special. It ain't nothing. It's just a matter of timing. That's all. And defenses start figuring that out. You go back to them interceptions in Green Bay, you can let people lie to you and say it was concussion all you want. I saw exactly why he threw them picks. Maybe the last one was a little suspect, but the other two just straight up demolished the scheme. Same routine plays that we be running, but they called the perfect defensive play to shut it down. Green Bay baited him into those interceptions. Matter of fact, you remember the pick that he threw over to the right side? Not the last one that was in the seam, but the one he threw to the right that he was trying to target Gesicki, which he never do on, so that was already off. But that one, that's funny. He got baited. Go look at the play right before it. The linebacker followed the guy coming across the middle, and Gesicki, the out route over there was open. The very next play, Mike McDaniel wanted to go right back to that, but this time not miss the out route. And the guy following the guy across the middle backed out on him. And like I always tell y'all, Tua already know where he going with the ball. Last time it didn't work, and it was literally 2 different possessions. It was the last play of a possession, and he went on that sideline, looked at that tablet, and he said, dang, he followed. I could have hit the guy on the out. And what did Mike McDaniel do? He dialed up a play very similar on the out. And this time, instead of the linebacker following, the corner following across, he backed in the coverage, but Tua threw it anyway because he thought what he watched on that tablet was going to be the exact same. You're missing my point. There will be new stuff added. They don't have a ton of time to do full install in the weeks of the season. The majority of the install happens in the off season. I get that ball game, but we're remedial times 100 when it comes to that. I understand that the most of the scheme is installed preseason. Then every week, depending on the team you playing and what they like to do, you like that incorporate another little small package and add on and add on. But our offense was so basic vanilla. And how do I prove that? I proved it a million times on this channel watching the film, how we literally, there's one play that we run 13 times per game without fail. There is a specific play we run 13 times. There's another play we run about 6 times a game. You got 2 plays that account for 20 plays. That's when you know you got a vanilla offense. That's when you know you ain't getting much install in because somebody holding you back and you're limited in what you can install. It's what you have to deal with when you have a new coach. Not on this level ball game. Trust me, I get the logic and everything you're saying, and you're 100% correct. But ours is dumbed down even more. Whatever the install you would expect with a new coach, you might well cut it in half for us. When I'm sitting there going over film, and everybody who watched the channel, you know I ain't lying. I ain't making this up. T-Rich, the world famous Tua called me out for it. He said, we don't have no play we run 13 times a game. I said, you know what? You picked the game, T-Rich. He picked the game. I showed him the play on the first play of the game. Second play of the game, same thing. 5th play of the game, and we went through the whole game and we ran it 15 times. I said, pick another game. You pick. I'm not going to pick the game. You pick it. We picked up a whole nother game, and sure enough, same play 14 times. Then I said, pick another game. He picked the 3rd game, same play 13 times. Come on, man. Come on. And if y'all was here that night, put it in the comment section. If you were here that night when we went over it, put it in the comment section. He picked the game. I ain't even going to pick. You pick whatever game you want to pick that Tua played in the season. And here's the funny part about a ball game. When Skyler and Teddy played, we ain't even run the play. That tells you all you need to know. When Skyler and Teddy played, we ain't even run the play. I'm telling you. Man, there ain't nobody can convince me otherwise. Yeah, how you got a specific play that you run literally 13, 14 times a game, then your backups play, you don't even run the play. And it's basic. They can run it. Somebody said T-Rich was never the same. Man, like I said, you can be a new coach all you want. You can be a new coach all you want. When one play takes up 30% of your entire offense and a secondary play takes up another 10, 40% of your plays, 40% of your plays is 2 plays, yeah, you install all you want. Yeah, we going to have some new plays, but I'm sorry, it ain't going to be very many at all. And that ain't it. It's other plays too that we run a lot every game, but there's variation to it. Like there's variation. There's some plays that we run where everybody do the same thing, but the tight end this time may go up the seam, or the tight end this time may do a slant. Just like that pick that he got picked off in Green Bay to Mostert, and everybody was like, what happened? It must have been communication. Tua threw it as if it was a slant. Tua threw it as if it was going to be one of those quick slants, and Mostert ran a route like it was the seam. That play we run a lot too. It's just different variations because the tight end can switch up what they're doing depending on what they call, but it's the same play. Everybody else doing it. And a matter of fact, our offense is so vanilla that a lot of times you'll have 4 receivers. 2 of them won't even do nothing because they know it ain't coming their way. We got plays where you ain't even using everybody. 2 receivers just run and go over. Yeah, we already knew they were throwing over there. We already knew that they was going for the quick slant. Come on, man. Our offense has nothing to do with post-snap. Our offense is 1,000% pre-snap identification. We already know what we're going to do on the play. We already know where we want to go. We shut off half the field on half of our plays. Just saying. So they could install new plays all they want. It ain't going to be many. It ain't going to be many. Matter of fact, I might want to put a bet with somebody. First play of the game in the regular season. Wide receiver in motion. That same receiver run a wheel route. The slot receiver run a slant. Oh, my gosh. And the running back go out to the flat under that wheel route. I might want to take a bet if that's the first play of the game this year. Receiver in motion. Receiver on the left goes in motion to the right, but they're going to end up running the wheel. The right side receiver is going to run a slant, and the running back is going to run in the flat behind the wheel route. It's all about putting stress on that outside linebacker because he got a decision to make. Do I stay here for the slant? Do I take the flat? And all Tua got to do is hike the ball and say, what are you going to do, linebacker? You taking the flat? I hit the slant. You take the slant? I hit the flat. Y'all zone it out and have both of them cover? I take the wheel. That's all. That's what the offense is. Those 12 to 14 aren't identical. They may look similar, but they have different wrinkles. I get that ball game. One play has 6 wrinkles. Instead of the slant for the slot receiver, he going to go on the seam. Instead of the wheel route, it might be a jet sweep. I mean, I understand the different wrinkles, but it's one play. It's still one basic play with a whole bunch of wrinkles. Play 1, wrinkle 1. Play 1, wrinkle 2. Play 1, wrinkle 3. It's still the same play, regardless. Come on, man. I get it, though, ball game. I get it. All I'm saying to you is we ain't installing an intricate. Well, I guess nobody's debating that. Everybody knows that this is a quarterback-friendly offense, and it's very simple. I guess nobody's debating that. But the problem is I'm sitting here at home watching film. I can identify it. I already knew the Chargers could identify it. When you saw the post game and you watched the film, they identified it because they were all over it. They knew exactly what to do. Green Bay, and let me tell you something about Green Bay. They were clever in the fourth quarter because Green Bay, what they did in that fourth quarter, they didn't play that way the whole game. Go look at the film. They didn't play that defense the whole game, and they waited until the fourth quarter to just surprise us and go into that defense. Go watch the Green Bay film. Go watch what they did for 3 quarters straight and go watch their adjustment in the fourth quarter. It was straight league. It was literally baiting. It was all built on literally making him make the throw in the tight situation that he ain't good in and forcing him to go with status quo. Go watch it. Go watch the film. I'm like, let me see what Green Bay did to do what they did. I watched the interceptions. I said, oh, these are clever. Oh, I like what they did there. Oh, they baited him into that, and he backed right into it. And then I went in the first half. I went in the first 3 quarters. I'm like, they not doing none of that. They just running a straight up base Vic Fangio defense, by the way. Green Bay was running in that game. And in the fourth quarter, just switched it up on us. Right to what Tua don't do well. But it was the concussion. Yeah. Yeah, mama girl. Say hello. 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 All this teething. But you know what? Tua got to come back stronger this year. He got to come back more focused. He got to come back better. He got to be able to learn from those switch ups they did. And he gonna, like I said, he just gonna have to light it up this year. It's gonna be interesting to see how certain teams play us this year. I'm really gonna be interested to see how he does versus the Jets since he avoided them twice this year. But I want to see him do well versus the Jets. That'll be a good sign because I felt like they had a really good defense. And that's what I was waiting on all season, but it never happened. But time will tell, man. I just know that he needs to ball out this year. Super Bowl or bust. Not this year. As long as we get a Super Bowl in the next 2 years. We ain't got to get it this year. I mean, things got to come together. But we definitely got to make a nice run this year. But by next year, we definitely want to be in that game at least. Even if we're going to win the Super Bowl, at least let's get in that game next year. This year, win 2 playoff games. If you get the number 1 seed, then just win 1 playoff game, but make some noise in the playoffs. We got to get to the championship round. I will say this: championship round or bust. Championship round or bust, man. And next year we need to be in the Super Bowl or bust. No, this year Super Bowl or bust. Nah, it ain't. I mean, you be realistic. It's a 2-year window for a reason. I mean, look, the Bengals keep on getting far, right? And look, they got 160 million or something I read in money next year. What you think they about to do? And Burrow gonna get his contract extension, and it ain't gonna. That mean they might even have even more money. Stop. Give me this. Stop. All right. Yeah. Anyway. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I done went longer than I thought I would. Thought I was gonna put an hour and a half, but we 2:20 in. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. We're gonna be back at it tomorrow, man. I just personally, I would feel a lot better if we just go get a right tackle, go get a running back. All right, if you don't go get a running back, go get a left guard and go get a right tackle. I would feel good. If you're not gonna go get both, then go get a right tackle and a running back, a real one, a great one. If you ain't gonna do none of that, go get Lamar Jackson. If you ain't gonna do none of all of them options, if you ain't gonna do none of them 3 options, then the Dolphins gonna dolphin. If y'all think the team that we've assembled right here, right now, is the team that's gonna be the Super Bowl team, I find that hard to believe. But time will tell. You never know. We might win a Super Bowl anyway. You never know, man. I just want to win at the end of the day. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. Y'all hit that like button on your way out. Thank y'all for tuning in. I think we had like 700 people watching at one point. Salute to every single one of you 7. And I appreciate y'all holding me down and drowning the haters out, man, because they've been trying to come for your boy overtime lately. And I've been loving every bit of it. Listen, man, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Salute to each and every one of you. Fins up and y'all stay blessed. All right. And keep my family in your prayers as I will always keep yours in mind. Love you. Fins up. Peace. I'm out.